this is the one thing I want to really cover with you guys on this conversation. Now, this is not just for guys. A lot of women don't realize that they've got testosterone too. Guys, you want your gals to have testosterone in their bodies. Testosterone is that thing that gives you that twinkle in your eye, makes things happen in the bedroom. It's what gives you confidence. It's what allows us to build muscle and burn fat. And so this isn't just a conversation for guys. Now, granted, guys are super interested in this conversation. I work with them a lot with testosterone optimization, but I just want everybody to know that this is not a conversation just for guys. My goal with this is to help you all optimize not just your testosterone levels, but your hormone levels. And I want you to look and feel your best ever. Okay? And what happens when that happens is you're going to have more joy and more vibrancy in every area of your life. That's with your family. It's going to be with your friends. It's going to be all of your life. And what's really cool about going through this process, I've literally been that guy who's done the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours. Since 2007, 2008, I've put in over 10,000 hours to get this information. And what I want to do here is I want to show you how you can compress my 8 years of personal study and all the research I've done. And I want you to have the same results in 90 days. And it's really important that people understand this, because folks are going to these expensive doctors. Now, mind you, when I started doing this back in 2008 is when I actually started looking for the correct doctors. This stuff was expensive. You couldn't even get into a doctor for less than $5,000 who's going to do your blood work and go into the anti-aging conversation with you. Okay, so the one thing that I know for a fact, but I've tested it, guys understand, I've had my blood tested every quarter of every year for the past 5 years. I know what's going on with my body, and that stuff in the middle of the grocery store, it messes up your hormones. So first and foremost, you guys have got to figure out how to grocery shop, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay? What I found is a lot of the friends that I work with, guys I went to high school with, guys I went to college with, worked with, gradually they start to change their conversation to, man, my joints ache. Man, the old love life's not what it once was. And they start getting their little beer guts, their bellies. And here's the thing that I know. It's so gradual that we don't really realize or remember how we once felt. And so that's the question that I want everyone to ask themselves. When was it that you felt your absolute best? When did you feel your best? I know it was 27 years old. I had won a brand new Jeep Wrangler from a company I was working with. And I was a bandana on the head clad guy, top down, John Denver, Rocky Mountain High screaming through my speakers, going up through the Idaho mountains. And I'm telling you, it was amazing. I could get out of my Jeep and I could hike and climb and scale rocks all day long. And it was not an issue, right? And I could come back, and back when I drank beer, I'd drink a bunch of beer, hang out with my buddies. That is when I felt the best. Although, that's when I started to deconstruct because I had no information. So what I want you guys to do is really think back as to when you felt your most amazing. Were you an athlete? Were you, when was it you just looked and felt your best? When was it that you looked into the mirror and you loved what looked back at you? That's a big one. That's a big one, not just for the gals, but for us guys. We like to look in the mirror and feel that confidence of, man, I'd date me, right? That's what I'm looking for everybody on this presentation, this webinar, is I want to show you some things on this webinar that you can take away today, and you can actually go out and you can begin looking and feeling your best today. Now, who am I? I think that's the big question, is like, who's this guy? Well, this is who I am. I'm the guy who, in the Boise Valley, I'm known as the guy who can get people looking and feeling amazing in 90 days. I consult locally to CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies. And the reason they hire me is because when you're running a business that's multi-million-dollar per year, you've got a lot going on. You've got a lot of stress, and you've got a lot of people to manage. And so what they do is they bring me in to help optimize their energy levels and also optimize their team's energy levels. Because we know this, when you start to optimize your health and fitness, you start getting mental clarity and focus, and you become incredibly, productive. So from a corporate perspective, it's always worth their time to bring me in. But here's the thing. I love working with those guys because I love creative people. I love entrepreneurs. Love them. What I'm most passionate about, though, is working with regular folks. You know, people like me, people and their families. And I started with me and mine because I know this. We are only a contribution to others to the degree that we care about ourselves. And I'm that hippie guy. I'm kind of incognito, but I'm a hippie. And it's the truth. We can only love others to the degree that we love ourselves. And what I truly believe is that the way we take care of our bodies, what we put into our bodies, into our minds, and who we associate with is absolutely the testament to how much we care about ourselves. And so that's one of the things that I want to teach you here. And this is the thing I love about this is I'm an impatient guy, but I've learned that this marathon run that we're on called life, we can hack it into little simple slices and compress time frames. And here's what I mean by that. If normally a diet or a fad or some process takes 2 years and you can do that in 2 months and get the same results, that's a smart idea, isn't it? Absolutely, and that's what I'm talking about. So when I say hacking, I'm talking about shortcutting. I'm talking about upgrading and optimizing, not cutting corners, because we want to have the best going on in our lives. And I'm talking about nutrition and supplementation, fitness and lifestyle. And here's the thing, what I'm talking about here, I want you to not take my word for it. I want you to write it down if you have a question and go research it, because this stuff is documented. People are taking their health into their own hands, and thank God it's finally happening. And this is me taking one of my really good friends, actually one of my marketing coaches, truly one of the coolest guys I've met, who's actually helped me to put this presentation together so that I can take this on a global level. He saw that it was important, and so he's helped me put this together. And so what we do is, like, us guys, you gals are different. You want to get on the phone, you want to chat, you want to go around the outside aisles about 5 times. We guys, in and out. It's like it's the pits at the races. We want to in and out. How fast can we get this grocery shopping done? So I've hacked her down to about 10 minutes on average, and I can show you how to do that too. So this is us. Can any of you say yes to any of these? Gained weight around your middle? Told you have pre-diabetes or you're insulin resistant? Dude, that's crap. Yes. Do people have diabetes? Of course they do. Is some of it genetic? Of course it is. 95% of this crap with people with diabetes is food, or non-food rather, okay? And we're marketed to. Okay, symptoms of low T. Often feel blue or depressed. Experience overall feeling of fatigue. Low libido. That one right there, you guys. Low libido? Come on. If you'd rather watch, Alex Trebek than hang out, so to speak, then you need to have this stuff taken, get this checked. Because that's part of a fun, exciting life. And again, here's where I shared earlier that we talk about things that most people are embarrassed to talk about. I talk about them. And so I'm going to change my language so that you guys aren't offended. But let's face it, man, if you're having a hard time getting aroused, you have less intense orgasms, you have poor erections, guys, dude, that's not just that's just not normal. People say, well, that's just aging. You don't have to age this way. We are told stuff that is not accurate, okay? If you lack stamina, in bed and out of bed, at work, anywhere, that's a problem. Slow recovery after exercise. I heard one of my really good friends said, man, I train as hard as I ever do, but I don't get the same results. I relate. And that's when I went on this search, because mine was about 36 years old, 35, 36. Because again, the key to this thing, the key to this life is not just to survive. It truly is to thrive. And I came to that place in my life where it's like, dude, I wanted off the ride. That's not okay. And so here I am. This is a 40-year-old picture. It's 3 years ago. And I feel better than I did in this picture, by the way. This is me and my son doing the Dirty Dash. And it was epic, man. It was a 6-mile run. And it was an obstacle course race. He's giving me crap out of the gates, and I was giving him crap at the end. Almost had to carry him longer than his mama. So this is the type of stuff that I want you guys to really look forward to. This is not in the rearview mirror. These are things that you can do in the future because people are doing it. I've got an 80-year-old guy that literally does sprints up mountains. He does repeats. He repeats sprints over and over up mountains. Guys, that should be us. We have grandkids, but we're going to have great grandkids. Why not kick butt, feel great, clear-minded until we're done? That's what I'm talking about. So I actually like that picture a lot. So this is my buddy Albert, this is Carson, and this is me after we went through the mud at the Dirty Dash. This is the stuff I hope for you guys. It might not be the Dirty Dash, it might not be obstacle course races, but you know what? You know what it is in your life that you want to show up for during the day and not have to start cranking down Red Bulls or Rockstar energy drinks, kill your adrenal glands, beginning the spiral downward to actually make it through the day. And see, and that's the thing that I want to share with you guys. The way you get good at something is by doing it wrong. And I did it wrong enough long enough. And so I'm just like you, probably, extreme diets. I did the HCG diet way back before Kevin Trudeau put it in his book. It about drove me insane. That is not a good way to go, you guys. Extreme workouts, well, I just got to work harder. Just got to work harder. Work out faster, stronger, more. That's crap. You know, some of this stuff just burns out your adrenal glands. It actually messes with your nervous system, and you've got to recover. You know, granted, regardless of what age you are, you've got to listen to your body. And so I've done the extreme diets, done the extreme workouts, didn't recover. And here's one of the key things, you guys. This is something that's really important for everybody. And I'm going to cover more of this at the end of this, toward the end of this webinar. And it makes a lot of people mad, but I don't care, because I care. I like this saying that, you know what, I deeply care, but I don't give a crap. And what I mean by that is I deeply care about you enough to where I'll take whatever it is your reaction might be so that you'll actually take some action and do something for your life. The wrong doctors, you guys, general practitioner doctors, they're not trained to give us anti-aging preventative health medicine, okay? So I went to the wrong doctors, and one doctor, I'm depressed, man. I just lost my company. They literally took my work truck and they were towing it away from in front of my house during a yard sale that we were having so I could pay my mortgage. Talk about a humbling experience, right? So I'm depressed, and I go to this general practitioner doctor and I say, dude, something's wrong. I'm depressed. I have no energy. I can't gain, any muscle. And his question was, can you get an erection? I said, well, yeah, I can get an erection. He said, well, you're good to go, dude. And that was the result. That was the answer. And so I took matters into my own hands, because I am that guy. I'll get it figured out. And so I found some bodybuilders and took me some black market anabolic steroids. Oh my God. I'm telling you, guys, that stuff works. And I burned more fat, and I got so strong I could move houses. One day I felt like Superman. The next day I could hardly walk up the stairs. I was so tired. I felt like I had the flu, because literally I had poisoned my liver to the point I just had no clue. And so that was one of my big mistakes. And I know some of you can relate to this. Some of you can't. But the point was I was desperate. Man, I had 3 kids. I had to recreate my life. Everything that I had done to make a living was gone. If you were in the mortgages, the real estate, construction industry, you know what I'm talking about. We go from riding high to literally being at one of the lowest lows. And here's what I want to share with everybody is I believe that was one of the greatest gifts, because that's when I was able to go back and really find out what was truly valuable in my life. That's when I started looking at my kids in the eyes and listening to them. And so there is always a gift in the most challenging situations. But here's the most important thing, I think, is time. It's the only thing that we have. Here's the thing that I cannot do for you guys, because it's just the way it is. We are all terminally ill. And I want you to think about that, because we're marketed to and programmed that it's going to go on forever. I can get to it tomorrow. That's bullshit. And I mean that, you guys. It's important that people understand that, like Creedence Clearwater says, tomorrow never comes. Right now is where the power is. Right now, you are responsible and you are capable. And I want to give you some tools so that you can make some really good decisions and turn things around. So I wasted a ton of time, and I want to share information with you guys to where you can compress time frames. You don't have to waste a ton of time trying to figure all this stuff out. You can just get the resources and you can roll, and you go do what you love to do. This is the guy. This is Dr. Hockey. Dr. Robert Hockey used to be a nephrologist. He still is a nephrologist, rather. A nephrologist works with people's kidneys, okay? The majority of his clientele were old guys and gals, old folks who had started with one pharmaceutical for an acre of pain, and then the side effects of that pharmaceutical led to another pharmaceutical, which led to another. He said the majority of his clients were on 9, 12, 15 pharmaceuticals, and all he could do was pain management. Yeah, we're living longer in the United States. So, what quality of life is that? And he was angry. I love this guy. He's like me. I mean, he says it like it is. That's not why he got into medicine. And so he began researching and studying anti-aging medicine, right? Preventative health, our responsibility, not our doctors, our responsibility. And thank God I found Dr. Hockey. I actually put this video together for him a few years ago, started referring in business. He's like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Well, about 6 months after he said that, he says, dude, quit referring me clients. We're busting at the seams. I can't keep up. Why is that? Because people like us on this webinar started going and seeing them, started optimizing their hormones, started learning some of these hacks that we're talking about on this webinar. They started feeling so good. Guess what they did? They told everybody, right? So his practice is over 3,500 people strong today, and he's bringing on doctors to support the growth. Guys, this is not going away. This is the future, okay? And so again, it's about compressing time frames. What I do for folks is I put all this stuff on the table so they can get it right now, okay? They can start today, and they don't have to go through that long process. This is a gratuitous photo, right? Check out my cool dragon tat in the garden hose vein in my bicep. Man, I tell you what, we're 43. You know, those of you who are on this webinar who are my age or close to it, maybe older, haven't we seen enough poopy diapers and painful things in our life to get over taking life so serious? I have. And so here's the thing. I got myself in some pretty rock star shape. This is a couple weeks ago, not photoshopped. And I'm proud of it. You know, and the cool thing is I know that I can help people get here too. So imagine this. Imagine hanging out with your family. Imagine knowing exactly what to do when you go to the grocery store, exactly what to do on a daily basis to look and feel your best, to show up and be present for yourself, your family, your colleagues. What would that look like? Right? Here's the thing. There's secrets in this thing, right? Here's the 3 secrets. We've covered this a little bit with secret number 1. Why most family doctors don't know about this and are actually killing people. You know, bold statement. I stand by it because it is the truth. Secret number 2. Why getting rid of belly fat and building muscle is nearly impossible without optimal hormone levels, and why most doctors can't help you. And secret number 3, and this one, I talk about this all the time. Why the food pyramid is actually causing diabetes, mental fog, and decreased testosterone, and how to create your own pyramid that they don't want you to know about. So secret number 1, why most family doctors don't help with testosterone optimization or actually killing people. Well, here's something interesting, because you guys have to understand, and I know you do, so please, I know I'm speaking to the choir. There's a lot of disinformation out there. And the majority of what we hear on the radio, the TV, and then from everybody else who listens to the radio and watches TV is money motivated, okay? You always have to, write this down. Ask the question, how do you know that? Because you get people who are like, they're so convicted and they tell you something. Just ask the question, how do you know that? And have them answer the question. Most people are like parrots. It sounds good, I'm gonna say it. They're not thinking, they're a parrot, right? And so again, with everything that I say, I want you to go validate, verify, find out for yourself, okay? Don't take my word for it. But here's the thing. Out there on the internet, and they had a big barrage of disinformation out there on the internet recently. Why? Because this information I'm sharing with you is a hot topic. It's right at the very curve of the hockey stick about to go vertical. And they don't like it. Remember, they don't like it. And so they put out stuff like, testosterone causes heart attacks. Testosterone causes prostate cancer. And once again, I hit the BS button, guys. That's not true. So if you look at this, this is a test and a study done by a dude at MIT. That's a real smart guy college, okay? And it says, a medical doctor and researcher at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, same place, Good Will Hunting, was that and filmed, has been studying testosterone replacement, and prostate cancer risk for several years. His research has shown that low testosterone levels, not high, are associated with prostate cancer. After all, if one looks at the natural progression of prostate cancer, it never occurs in men in their 20s when testosterone levels are at their lifetime peak. Instead, prostate cancer becomes increasingly common as men age when testosterone levels have declined. You might be asking, why the heck would they do that to us? Well, I'm going to get into that. And I think it should upset you. Most of you know this, but I'm just going to get clarification with it and we'll move on. Aging is the decrease of our youthful hormones. It's the cause of disease, okay? Growth hormone, testosterone, wacky hormone levels, all that stuff, that's what causes sickness and disease. If you had optimal levels of hormones in your body, again, we have an expiration date. Don't get me wrong. We're all terminally ill eventually. But you could live a vibrant life, clear to the end, youthful, excited, clear-minded. Well, that's not really helpful for them. Who's them? It's they. And we'll go into that. When your hormones are optimized, you don't get sick and get the diseases most Americans get. Now, again, if optimizing your hormones keeps us healthy, why don't we hear more about it? Okay, so I'm going to tell you. Here's why. If y'all haven't heard about this, again, if you didn't gain weight around your middle, if you didn't have diabetes, if you were as strong as you ever was, or were rather, if you never gained any weight and you didn't ever get bad cholesterol issues and your skin didn't sag, you would stay flexible like a gymnast for the rest of your life, and you could concentrate and you could think of anything that you ever wanted to right on the spot when you're talking to somebody. Or if you never got depressed, or if you never got tired, or if you never had a low libido, oh my God, population would be out of control. So maybe that's the reason. But the point is, there's no money in that. There's no money in us taking care of ourselves, but rather there actually is. What about organic farming? What about grass-fed beef? What about changing this system that is absolutely proven to be broken? I'm not against anything, you guys. I am for personal responsibility and then doing the next right step, whatever that may be. Scared? Fearful? I don't care. Yeah, go scared. Just do it. And that's what I'm for. And so here's what I know. We can change the system that we have. And it starts with us personally, our families under one roof, then our communities, and we share this information. That's what it comes down to. Okay? Here's where the profitability comes from. Plavix. Before the expiration of its patent, clopidogrel, Plavix, was the second best-selling drug in the world. In 2010, one drug, it grossed over $9 billion in global sales. $9 billion, one drug, okay? How in the heck did they do this? Well, this is how. If you've not read this, try to find it, get it. It's The Drug Story by Morris Allison Beale. And I'll sum it up for you and then we'll move on. Because, again, I'm not against anything. I'm just for the truth and doing something about it. The Drug Story by Morris Beale. The General Education Fund, sounds legit, aka the Rockefeller Foundation, bought up a bunch of pharmaceutical companies at the turn of the century and gave tons of money to colleges. These colleges, of course, teach their students all the drug lore the Rockefeller pharmaceutical houses want taught. Otherwise, there would be no more gifts, libraries, gymnasiums, just as there are no gifts to any of the 30-odd colleges in the United States that don't use therapies based on drugs. I know y'all probably knew this, but I think it's a big shock to some folks. And that's the bottom line. Don't take my word for it. Research it. Go back and do a little Google on The Drug Story by Morris Beale for yourself. And then understand, we are responsible for our health, okay? And so, so that's the ultimate point is our health is our responsibility. Ain't nobody coming. I had a really great mentor who frankly kind of scared me. He was a Marine, ex-Marine. He was in his 50s when I was in my 20s. And he would piss me off a lot. And he sat me down and says, Troy, you act like it's just gonna magically get better. He said, do you have a rich uncle? Do you have this winning lottery ticket underneath your bed? He says, let me tell you something that will serve you for the rest of your life. Ain't nobody coming. there ain't nobody coming. Now, you sit with that for a while. We're told that there's going to be somebody show up, watch TV for a while. Kanye might show up in his cool rig and swoop us off. It's not happening, you guys. Our life is our responsibility. There is nobody coming. Here's who's coming for you. You. Like I showed up for myself, and you show up for yourself on a daily basis. You do. Every day you get out of bed, you do. Because sometimes it is not easy, and I know that. When you believe in yourself and you will become skilled at certain things, the world truly becomes your oyster. Not easy, thank God not easy, but it becomes a process that you can certainly manage and find some joy in, right? Our health is really ultimately number one that we need to be the most responsible about, okay? So, or not, and if you don't, you can go take some Plavix to get some chest pain, collection of blood under the skin, deep, dark purple bruises, itching, pain, redness, and swelling, nosebleed, painful, difficult urination, all that stuff this just sounds horrible. But I took the most rare side effects and saved them for last because I think they're the best. Black, tarry stools, blistering, flaking, or peeling of the skin. Man, that's going to kill somebody's libido, whether they got low hormones or not, right? So here's the thing I wanted to share with you guys, and I'm going to pull something over for you to kind of give you a gift on this webinar. I've got this thing with my blood, it's genetic, that I produce a ton of red blood cells. Man, as an athlete or climbing Mount Everest, that's awesome. But I don't live on Mount Everest. Down here in the lowlands, what that does is it causes my blood to be thick, and it causes organ challenges, potentially stroke and heart attack, all that stuff. So it's pretty serious. So for a lot of years, I used to have to go in and get what they call phlebotomies. If you've ever gone to the Red Cross and had them take out blood, it's the same thing. And that sucks, man. I mean, sometimes my blood was so thick that it would stop in the hose at the Red Cross. And so I was like, man, I don't like those cookies that much, so I stopped going. But I went out and I started researching, what can I take naturally that can help this? And I've got some really great friends that I've grown up with who own a nutrition store here. And I went and saw Chris Weir from World of Nutrition in Nampa. That's in the 2C2. All the cool kids come from there. And she turned me on to some really cool herbs. And then I researched some stuff online. And let me pull this over for you. This is off my Facebook page. But these are things that I want you guys to write this down. Just get a really high quality garlic. Get ginkgo biloba, and again, research this later. But ginkgo biloba, I get the spendy stuff because my brain and my blood's worth it. And this stuff that you can not see real well is called natto-K. It's nattokinase. So you can go to my Facebook page and pull this information off. This combination cleans the blood, cleans the liver, heals and repairs the liver, gives you mental clarity. That's why I'm actually levitating my laptop as I do this. It's that good. And there's no side effects. The side effects are you're healthy. And so that's the stuff that I really want to share with folks is that's what's possible. Okay. That's an herb, right? You know how many people died from herbs last year? None. Okay. Now Google this. How many people died from pharmaceuticals last year? And I'm not going to tell you, you go research it. Right? And then come back to that. We are responsible for our health and we're capable, right? So here's the second secret. Getting rid of belly fat and building muscle is nearly impossible without optimal hormone levels. Guys, that's why, come on, I'm a vain guy too. Less than then, but still vain. That's why I went and found black market steroids. I just wanted to be bionic again, man. I wanted that Superman S on my chest. Right? Because when the economy tanked and I hit 36 years old, stuff started shifting. Now understand, this happens from toxic environments, stress, hitting your head. Our environment is not conducive to optimal hormone levels, okay? And so you talk to people and it's like, what are normal? Well, I've never been considered normal, thank God, and I'm proud of that. But you have 300 to 1,000 nanograms per deciliter in your blood, that's normal. That doesn't mean it's the best. That doesn't mean you're going to burn fat and you're going to build muscle. Okay? It's going to be more on the high side of that. And here's a really fascinating study that, again, check it out. More men in their 20s have testosterone levels around or below 300 than ever before in history. Guys, we're talking like 70-year-old testosterone levels. And stress, processed foods, toxic environments. And here's another thing, negative thinking. That messes with you more than you know. And we won't dive deep into that, but that's the reality of it. That's where we're at today. People are literally suffering, and we can do something about it. Optimal testosterone levels. I'm going for optimal all day long. Why optimal? Because when your hormones are optimized, your body has the ability to regenerate, to heal, to fight off disease better than ever, okay? So I keep mine right between here. And I'm telling you what, man, if I get serious about it, I know what to do with my diet. I just crank up the good fats. I know a lot of you are like, oh my God, you're eating a lot of fat. Oh yeah. I eat about 80% of my calories of high quality fat, and I get ripped. I can get a six-pack in a week that's like, you don't even need to Photoshop it, man. I look good. You can wash your clothes on it. But it's because my hormone levels are between 800 and 1100. So I burn fat super fast. I can build muscle fast. I'm pretty dang confident. Here's the thing about that. I've been around too much to be afraid of much. You know, I've been around and through some challenging stuff just like you have. Scary stuff in life. You know, we've lost friends, we've lost family members, we've been terrorized at different times in our life. And here's the thing, I've been blessed to have reached out for help. For so long, I didn't reach out for help, and it damn near killed me. Well, if I ask for help, it must mean that I'm stupid. Because I had this voice in my head that said, man, you're supposed to know everything. You're supposed to have it all figured out. Who the heck told me that? And that's when I realized we came into this world bare butt, wet and screaming, all the same, you guys. It's what we learn, associate with, and how we think that changes us. So I'm not afraid of folks. You know, I'm really not afraid of anybody. I avoid certain people because I don't want to get damaged because I like my body, right? But here's what I understand. People who are angry or loud or scared or just avoiding, whether it's through work or drugs or alcohol, these people are scared, man. And I get it. I get it because I was that person. I can't ask for help. It must mean I'm broken. It doesn't mean you're broken. And that's one of the things that I've been doing, for a lot of years, over 10 years, is trying to demystify people. You know, we're in this together. We need to help each other. So I take my mask off and I let you see in. And amazingly, I get to see out. And I drink a bunch of water and the people say, amen. Here's something that we're going to segue into some other stuff here. And we're going to wrap here very shortly. This is something that it's really hard for people to understand. And I get it because we're marketed to from the time we're little tiny kids, plopped in front of the idiot box, you know, to pacify us while mom and dad are busy. And we get marketed to. You know, McDonald's has a playland because they love our kids? No, because they understand the future. If they can get kids in there to playland and eating them nasty old French fries, but they're having fun on that playland, guess what? They're going to have fun when their parents and bring their kids there too. It's marketing and it's money. I met a gal who owns a Baja Fresh. And I like Baja Fresh. That's good stuff. No can openers, right? No freezers. And they owned 14 Burger Kings in Spokane. And I said, well, so why'd you sell out? She says, well, I just couldn't be in that business. Kind of like my Dr. Hockey. I just couldn't be in that business. We did great. She says, I wouldn't feed my kids out of my Burger Kings. What? This is a person who owns a franchise, a Burger King, 14 of them. Wouldn't feed her kids out of her own Burger King. I should tell you something, you know, and one of the things I have people do as homework is watch Food Inc. And I truly hope everybody on this webinar takes the time, if you haven't, go watch Food Inc. It's shocking. And what it comes down to is our food industry can be changed. And that's what I'm a champion for. Again, I'm against nothing, but I'm all for things that make sense. And transforming our wellness and food industry and the transportation and the cultivation of it is something that turns me on. You know, I want to have eggs because I eat a ton of eggs. One of the healthiest foods you can have. Okay, it builds the brain, it builds the body. It's a perfect food, man. But I only eat eggs from happy, good-looking chickens. And those aren't the ones that are in those cages, you guys. It matters. Well, that's expensive. I promise you this. I can show you how to buy the most high quality, choicest food, organic, grass-fed, happy, good-looking animals, and you'll spend less and you'll lose weight and feel better. I promise you that. Okay? So let's go back to where it all began. Let food be thy medicine. That was Hippocrates. He had to be cool. Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. That's what it's about. All right. So this is another gratuitous photo opportunity. When I stopped eating fast food, when I stopped eating wheat and sugar, a lot of people are like, oh my God, wheat and sugar. Yep. But I still have bread. It's just made with almond flour, coconut flour. I still have rock star food, man. I eat amazing stuff and I get ripped like that, right? I'm naked in this photo. Isn't that fun? I had more fun putting together this presentation than I've had in a long time, just because it's like, you know what? Again, if we take life too serious, we're missing it. We're missing it. We've been through too much, right? We've all been through too much to take this crap too serious. And especially about what we drive, what we live in. No, man, let's get down to what's real. How we look and feel, how we show up for the people in our lives. How present are we for our lives so that we remember it? Secret number 3. Here's where it gets spooky, guys. So hold on. Get your notepads out because I'm going to show you some stuff that's pretty wild. And we'll cruise through it. Secret number 3, why the food pyramid is actually causing diabetes, mental fog, and decreased testosterone. And how to create your own pyramid that they don't want you to know about. Remember those people. So here's the deal. This is the food pyramid. Okay, I know this. I go to Walgreens, they say, would you like to donate to the diabetic fund? No. I would like them to turn the food pyramid upside down and we would cut diabetes in half. Here's the deal. That's what I did. I flipped it, you guys. I don't eat any of this. Bread, cereal, whole wheat, whole wheat. They tricked you. Wholesome wheat. You know why wheat? That's cheap. That's cheap to cultivate. And it's a neurotoxin. Don't take my word for it. This is funny because I tell my mom about this. I learned this stuff and I take it to my mom because my mom has been a real amazing proponent to teaching me about health and wellness. She's truly one of my heroes. But this one just did not set well with her. I showed her, Mom, look at all the documentation saying that wheat spikes your insulin levels more than Snicker bars. Look at Dr. Oz did a video. Snicker bars, wheat bread. Those chicks, all 5, their blood level or sugar levels were higher on the wheat bread. And she's like, Troy, that's blasphemy. That's blasphemy. Jesus ate bread. Whole wheat, on the whole, is poison for our bodies and spikes our blood sugar levels more than a Snicker bar. Okay? So what I mean by that, one of the best meals, write this one down. If you're traveling, find a restaurant that has Cobb salad. Cobb salad. Eggs, ham, good stuff. Blue cheese. Those are good fats, you guys. Now, granted, it's probably not grass-fed beef and, grass-fed food animals that are on there. Probably good-looking, happy chickens. But here's the thing. That's good food. It's not going to put a ton of weight on your butt or your belly until you eat that side of bread that they bring with it, or until you start eating those croutons that come with it. And so again, you guys, this food pyramid is all based on money. It costs nothing to grow wheat. It costs a lot to actually have a grass-fed animal. And so again, we need to flip that bad boy upside down. I'll show you how to do it. And people say, why is that? I can go to the drugstore, you guys. It's money motivated. And that's not a good reason for us to follow. The profit of a few at the detriment of the masses. I am a champion for us all, just from my community, from my little town in Kuna, Idaho, with my family, getting them optimized, feeling great, thinking great. It's amazing the ideas that come out of my little kids. They deserve, we owe it to them to feed them high energy healing foods because they've got enough going against them. The media, right? The media, their friends that listen to the media and then tell them the same thing the media tells them. It's a tough world out there for these kids, and we need to give them every opportunity to thrive. So here's the deal. Now you know. Now you're educated. And folks, I could go on and on and on with this. So this is one of the shocking things here. This is, ironically, this is the financial pyramid. And for those of you, I mean, some of you may be on this webinar. We got a lot of folks on here who are like, well, that's not true. Again, find out for yourself. Just do the research and figure it out. You know, the very top of this deal, the folks who own the banks, they're the ones who are running the show. But the people who own the banks also own all the major little banks who own all the major corporations. And that includes Monsanto, who puts the chemicals on the food, who actually owns all the conglomerates that actually are the farms of the pigs and the poor animals that end up on our plates. Not happy, not good looking, sad, sick animals, okay? Oh, and then by the way, there's the government. So that's the hierarchy. Isn't it amazing? Money motivated, by the way, how that looks a lot like, bam, that. Always remember that, you guys. Don't focus a ton of energy on it. Research it, figure it out for yourself, and then just go do something for your family. Don't get all mad and angry like I used to do. It's such a waste of time, and people don't want to hear it. I'm testament to that. But people do want to hear this stuff. And this is just logical. Every time you eat or drink, you're either feeding disease or you're fighting it. And I get a kick out of this. I'm always amazed by people who drink tequila, kills your liver, and go, tasty. But yet they plug their nose to drink a green drink, which heals the liver. Where are our priorities? How well has Jose Cuervo marketed to us that we drink that crap and go, tasty? But yet when it comes to a green drink that actually helps us think more clearly and heals our bodies, we go, God, that's nasty. I mean, think about it, you guys. That's effective marketing, right? So this isn't food. This is food. And that's one of the things that we love to do is coach people how to grocery shop effectively. Do it very, very quickly if you're a guy, or even if you're a gal who just wants to get in and out. I don't want to spend all my time at the grocery store. I want to come home and I want to spend my time preparing those meals with my family. I want to listen to some Jimmy Buffett or some David Gray, or pop in some Mr. Deeds, and we're all going to have a good time together. Because it's not when we leave the house in the morning and go off to our 9 to 5 that we're living, right? People say, it's just my job, 40 hours a week, just my job. It's not a job. That's your life. And so let's find a way to make that fulfilling and optimized. And we do that too, because it's important. This is the important stuff, that every second we're present and we're living a juicy, fulfilling life. And sometimes it's going to suck and it's going to hurt. That's part of it, because you don't get the sweet without the sour. The cool thing about this that's been a blessing in my life is I've had people grab me by my hand, pat me on my fanny when I'm kicking and screaming through the painful times and say, come on, dude, you can do this. And that's made a massive difference in my life. I've got coaches for my wellness. I've got coaches for my business. I've got coaches for the fitness in the gym. And I just want to find the best of the best, and I want them to compress time frames for me. If I can do this in a week, what's going to take me a month, let's do that. I'm down, because I can do so many other things to generate an income. I can spend time doing what I want, what I love. Just download it to me, man. Kind of like in The Matrix. Remember the movie The Matrix, where he goes, I know Kung Fu. He just downloaded that. That's what I'm talking about. I want that kind of an experience, and I want to provide that kind of an experience for people in this wellness space. And we go over food, nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, mindset, the skills to pay the bills, because come on, man, it's all of it combined. It's not just, I'm going to get rich and I'm good. If you're rich and your health sucks, your relationships suck, and you're not happy, man, it's all of it. It's all of it. And so that's the thing, is imagine how you'll feel when your hormones are optimized. And again, think back like I did when I was 27 in my Jeep, listening to Joan Denver. What was that time? What will that feel like for you? What would that feel like if you could feel that right now? Again, imagine, and I know you guys have done this because I've done it so many times. I look in the mirror and it's like, not happy, depressed, thinking it's over, and all the hard work to get to feeling halfway worth a darn and looking decent. Imagine what it will feel like when you look in the mirror again, and this is in front of you. This is not behind you. This is in front of you. When you look in the mirror and you're going, damn, I would date me. How will that feel? How will it feel when you start, and again, I talk about this stuff a lot of people don't want to talk about because I think it matters. What's it going to feel like when you peel off your clothes in front of your significant other proudly, and they're like, oh my God, what'd you do? It's going to feel pretty good, right? You know, depression, what I know is this: low testosterone is the number one cause of depression in men. And you can see why. I'm going to go back through the list, right? Medicine is not healthcare. Food is healthcare. Medicine is sick care, and we all need to get that straight. That's the bottom line. Our doctors don't know our bodies. We live in our bodies 24/7. We know what we're popping into it, like whether it's a Rockstar, or Red Bull, or booze and burgers. And we would all go to the doctor, man, my belly hurts, or I got this ache. Come on. We are responsible for our health. So it just makes sense that we would go do all the testing that we can for our bodies based on the research that we've done. And we go to our doctor and say, this is what's up. I need this. And they'll do it. They work for you. And if they won't, fire them and find somebody who will. And I'll help you do that. Okay? It's important that you surround yourself with like-minded people, you guys. Get away from negative people. Because we know, and it's tested, verify this, Google it, figure it out for yourself. What a person's thinking changes you on a physical level. It matters. People say, oh, they don't bother me. No. What they're thinking affects you on a physical level. Okay? We're vibration. We are electricity. So I would rather be alone than around the wrong people. And Kimberly will attest to it. I get a sharp knife and I cut fast. If somebody is in my life and all they can do is talk about negative stuff and gossip and how horrible the world is, I love you, bye. And it's over. That's it. Because my life and my mindset is so important to me and to my little kids and to my relationships and what I'm up to in this life that I am not going to let some guy, well, you're not being very polite. So neither were they. They need to manage the way they think because it matters, and that affects our hormone levels. So commit to this. The thing is anything you're going to do, commit to 90 days. And, it's ironic. You hear these, 90 days, 3 months. There's a reason for that. If you immerse yourself in the right information for 90 days, you will transform if you want to, if you've made that commitment. And so again, like with this webinar, you guys, again, I really am grateful that you're here. My goal is to help you get your optimal testosterone and hormone levels and look and feel your best, because I know what that's going to do for you. It's like giving you a whole new lease on life. But it's your body. It's like getting a brand new car, all the bells and whistles. I want to give you all the bells and whistles, and the vehicle is your body. So everywhere you go, you feel amazing. I want you to have more joy and vibrancy, and literally in every area of your life. Music's going to sound better, food's going to taste sweeter, and the relationships are going to be deeper. And baby, that's what it's about. And so what I love is to show people how to compress. My 8 years, I did the Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours, man. That's me. I'm a dork, geek guy when it comes to stuff I'm passionate about. I drench myself in this stuff, and therefore I learn very, very quickly. And I love to teach. And so I want to show folks how to do in 90 days what took me 8 years. So I want to ask you a question. There's a lot of information here on this webinar, and I know this is a little overwhelming. We started talking about stuff. It's like, man, it's just a lot of stuff. And I know that it can be one of the, like going through a forest with a pin light. It's a little spooky. How would you like some help with this?